Hi, I'm back today with another loose watercolor floral painting, and today I'm using water-soluble pencils to start my sketch, and as always I'm working super loose. I think I have the lighting of my camera a bit too high, so it's hard to see the pencil lines I'm making here. It's a purple color because I want to use purple for the flower, and I just used a reference photo to have an idea how the flower is looking. It's not important which colors you're using, just pick the ones you like the most or the combinations you like. I tend to use complementary colors because this always makes a painting look more interesting. And today I go for a kind of a yellow, a warmer yellow, and a purple. And of course I'm adding some leaves to my blossom, and I use a green. This is a graphite pencil. It's also water soluble and it's a colored graphite, but that's not important at all. You just can pick any water soluble pencil you have. It even works with a normal colored pencil. I just like that the lines I drew bleed into the watercolors when I start painting. This is an exercise I like to do when I have not a real idea what to paint, and also to keep my eye-hand coordination working, and to practice daily. And that's a good way to do that because it took me about 10 to 15 minutes to do such a loose floral painting, and it's just fun, and 15 minutes is something I can manage to pick out each day. Sometimes I even split these 10 or 15 minutes into 2 times, and I just sketch out something in the morning and I come back later in the day and finish the painting. I'm starting with a yellow. It's the Naples yellow from, I believe it's the White Nights, and I add it as the center of my flower and also on the background. If you know my videos, you know that I prefer some color on the background. I really like white space, but not the whole page. I'm going in with the watercolors, and I start by adding the color in those areas that are a little bit darker, and then I blend everything, and I also make sure that I keep some white areas so later we have some highlights, and that makes the flower more dimensional and more interesting. While it's still wet, I go back in with the watercolor pencils and I scribble into those wet areas. I really like the textured lines you get when you scribble into a wet surface. I'm using the dusk violet from Van Gogh to create some more darker shadows in my flower. This is one of my favorite colors to create shadows. I also love their dusk green and pink and dusk yellow. These are also really nice colors to create some more contrast. I'm blending in some of the darker edges, but not all of them. I want to have a mix between hard lines and blended areas. Picking greens is really hard for me because I'm not a big fan of the normal green, and here I don't like both of the ones I've picked, so here I decided to use an olive green. I love greens when they are more on the warmer side, like the olive green, or also when they tend into blue. Then I also really like greenish colors, but that typical normal grass green or leaf green is not my favorite. I'm adding in some splatters for more texture and interest. I'm also using my green pencil to bring back in some of my outlines. I'm picking a smaller brush now and add in a tiny little bit of red orange. I think this just makes it look more interesting. I'm also adding in more of a pinkish color to the flower. I believe this must be a quinacridone magenta. I'm not sure which color to pick for the smaller leaves I have sketched out, and when I don't know which color to pick, I just make a little color palette on my page with the colors that I've already used, and then I can add another color and see if it fits. I really like that ultramarine blue together with all these colors because it's so different and it pops out so extremely, and I want to tone it down a little bit, and therefore I'm using the dusk green from Van Gogh. It adds a little bit more darkness and granulation, and also a touch of green, which makes it look a bit more realistic. Whenever you have a color that pops out extremely and is very intense against the rest on your painting, you can always use some water with a brush and blend this into the background. This adds a lot of looseness and it also takes away the intensity. Make sure not to go over the whole leaves with your water, just in some areas, and always keep some white in between. Now I'm adding some splatters with the same colors that I have already used, and I also use my pencils and dip the nib into water to make some scribbly lines into my painting. This just lets it look more as a full painting, I would say. Not only the flower with its leaves, it just finishes up the whole spread. And this is something I really love, to get loose with my lines and just to let my hand play a bit, and that it's so relaxing, I think, and I love to do this. To make the flower pop up a little more, I'm going in with a darker green. I added more of the dusk green to that ultramarine blue, and I'm adding some shadows to the leaves. And also here I'm blending in some of the areas, but I also leave some hard lines or hard edges. I also feel that I need more intense shadows on the flower itself, and therefore I just go in again with the dusk violet. Adding more layers in your painting always adds more dimension. Of course, you have a risk that you ruin your painting maybe, but over time, when you practice a little, you get a bit more of a feeling where more color is necessary and where not. I'm really happy with my painting. The only thing I do to balance it a bit more is to add some of that purpley color to some other areas. So my flower is not the only purple spot on the whole page. I also bring in some of that Naples yellow that is almost only visible in the center of my flower, and so I decided I need a little bit more of this color too. Yeah, and my video is coming to an end. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful, and I wish you a lot of fun painting. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you a happy new year and especially a healthy new year. Bye.